South Africa challenges UK carbon tax, fearing economic strain and global inequality. By Satori News. South Africa has voiced profound concerns over the United Kingdom's forthcoming carbon tax on imports, a move it views as a detrimental force that could exacerbate global divides and undercut the continent's capacity to navigate the challenges posed by climate change. The UK's contentious tax proposal, slated to take effect by 2027, aims to impose penalties on carbon-intensive goods in an effort to mitigate carbon leakage. The transfer of emissions-intensive production to countries with less stringent regulatory frameworks. However, the South African government, in a critique articulated through a formal submission to the UK Treasury, has flagged this strategy as a potential violation of World Trade Organization (WTO) statutes and an approach that unfairly disadvantages nations with developing economies, such as its own. With a national energy grid predominantly fueled by coal, South Africa stands to experience severe ramifications should such a carbon tax be universally applied to its exports. The measure, which touches on a diverse array of goods, including aluminum, cement, and steel, runs the risk of imposing a significant economic burden. South African officials underscore the fact that the country has historically contributed only a marginal fraction to the greenhouse gas emissions presently exacerbating global warming. Consequently, they argue that it is inequitable to subject South African producers to the same scrutiny and financial strain as countries with a more substantial carbon legacy. In lieu of these punitive tariffs, South Africa is advocating for cooperative mechanisms that would support the adoption of green technologies across the globe. These would encourage a collective and constructive movement toward reducing carbon footprints without severely impairing the economic viability of developing regions. Furthermore, the South African government is pressing for exemptions or reduced charges for African countries to shield them from the potentially protectionist implications of the UK's carbon tax regime. The response from the UK acknowledges the intention behind the carbon tax: to battle the phenomenon of carbon and prevent the undermining of domestic efforts to minimize emissions. The viability of the UK's industrial decarbonization initiatives is also highlighted as a pivotal consideration by the Treasury. Still, South Africa worries about the short time frame for exporters to adjust to the new tax and the onerous nature of the reporting conditions stipulated. The Department of Trade, Industry and Competition, DTIC, in South Africa perceives this move as not only punitive, but also as a threat that closes the door to required industrial development, vital for its socio-economic requirements. As South Africa awaits a nuanced evaluation of its grievances alongside other submissions, the urgency of its appeal resonates beyond bilateral relations with the UK and echoes in the broader realm of international trade and environmental policy. The outcome of this ongoing discourse holds substantial implications for the trajectory of climate action and economic justice on the African continent and beyond. Thank you for choosing Satori News.